Well, in an attempt to try to test the gain of the individual output transistors of the carver, I dug out the B&K 530 semiconductor tester from about 1976. We got this with a bunch of TV equipment. But basically what you're supposed to do is put the transistor either in the socket or use the clip leads. I had a test transistor, and you go through the switch settings here, and when it beeps good, it tells you what polarity the transistor is, and you stop there, and then you can go on and check the gain and whatnot. Well, I turned it on, let it warm up, and it went finally, and then you take the transistor off. I think the PNP lit, and then it went it just sounded horrible in the speaker here. It has a speaker switch, and then I shut it off and turned it on, and it hasn't come back since. I think these functions are fine over here. It's in the leakage. It's just this portion here is not functioning. So I attempted to clean the test switch over there. Here's the inside, and I'm just trying to look a little deeper, just maybe clean some of the switches, but this isn't the problem area. It was over there, and I want to check the voltages on the capacitors there. There's +5, -5, and 12 volts, and luckily I was able to find the diagram for this, and I've been referencing it. I wasn't hoping to have to go in and troubleshoot it. I'm going to take a look at the power supply over here and make sure we have all the voltages we're supposed to. The other parts of the meter, like I say, function properly, so it's we'll just poke around a little bit, see if we can as usual, while trying to remove some of the slide switch knobs, we'll call them. I noticed that one of them is missing the copper spring, but on the close examination you can see that the plastic is bulged from being under stress for a long time, and this one's bulged. This one has no bulge, so I assume it must not have one. Now, it won't fit on these switches. It fits loosely on these two here, but this one has a wider, this is a wider switch, so it fits on there okay. So they omitted that, so we did not lose it. That's the way it is. Just another thing you gotta watch out for when you take these things apart. Okay, here we are again. I just have it opened and on with a transistor in it, but this is what it was doing. That's your speaker switch. I'll take the transistor out and it's still power off. Power on. Nothing. Stick a transistor in. It's just transistors, legs are a little bent. Then you're supposed to move the switch. See, I have nothing. Let me check this transistor again, make sure all its leads. Back to the same condition. Okay, I did use the modern capacitor tester in circuit, and those 1016s read like 2300, all four of them. So I don't know, I may just change them anyway. And the 10 at 250 there tests okay too. I think they're a little bulged at the bottom. I don't know. I don't think they're very good quality capacitors, those international capacitor or whatever they are. Anyway, the switches are clean. I've reinserted the transistor. Make sure we're not touching anything here we're not supposed to. Turn it back on. Okay, we'll go through the... See, yeah, it won't test. I don't know where to go next. Just keep playing a little more. Okay, we got a transistor pair, and I ordered a pair just in case. I think it's supposed to have 4 pieces. We have our transistors in for the carver, as I was saying. we have our transistors, and it said, I was hoping to get 4. It said a pair and it said 2, so I was assuming 2 pairs. I suppose I misread it, but it sounded like a pair and it said quantity 2. I was hoping for 2 pairs, but it's pretty expensive even from China. Anyway, on the advice of another YouTuber, comment, I wanted to check the gain of these replacement output high power transistors. Now the little digital testers are fine for signal transistors, but I decided for the high power ones I decided to pull out this B&K 530, which I happened to find the manual online, and it would check the gain of each of those transistors just for fun. But as you know in the previous section of this video, it doesn't work. So I downloaded a copy of the diagram here. There's the speaker, and it's driven by a transistor, all this transistor logic, which I did study, but I'm going to have to go back into my AND gates and ORs and whatnot. There's some op amps in here and whatnot, but I'm going to start here in the power supply. Even though these are tested good, these are, I said international capacitor, these are Illinois capacitors. They test good, but I'll start with a clean power supply, I suppose. But I'm guessing a faulty AND gate or one of these early digital chips here, or something as simple as the grounds on the circuit. Let's get a shot of that so see what we're dealing with here. This is the selector switch. That's the test switch as you go through. There's 2 parts of this tester. This is the part that isn't working. The other part on this side is fine. It's this section here. And you saw it came on, it makes a sound out of the speaker and then fades out. And the LED did come on. The LEDs are right here, triggered by these transistors here. But everything leads to this plus 12 and minus 5, which tests okay. I think I got 11 point something on the 12 volts, but there could be some ripple on there. I don't know. The capacitors test good, but we're going to change them out anyway and start there. Can't test the transistors because the transistor tester is broken. What else is new? And let's just look at this stuff. It isn't anything we shouldn't be able to locate. It could be something as simple as a dirty pot, an adjustment pot, or don't get too much into it because the machine is in really nice shape. I remember I have a can of the component cooler here. I remember troubleshooting these chips. You could hit them with the freeze spray and they'll act right up. These are old MOS, I think a CMOS 4000 series chips, which are still available. Maybe not RCA brand, but I know there's even the same number on these chips doesn't always yield what you want either. Fairchild versus Texas Instruments. There was always trouble with these sort of things. But we'll don't have a logic probe, but we're going to have to start probing around for that before we can get on with the repair. I'd like to test the transistors, the output transistors that we're going to put in that carver, and wrap that carver up because we have other projects again waiting to get on this bench. Okay, back on the transistor tester here. I've gone and scavenged some capacitors from I think this chassis here. I have new capacitors, but what the heck. Well, this one was littered with the ones we needed. I think this is for some reason I think it's a Gold Star computer monitor. Any event. I got a 10 at 250 to replace that 10 at 250. The rest are 1000 at 16s. They're Illinois capacitors, IC. Illinois capacitors. I have 1000 at 16s, except for this one 1000 at 25. We're going to replace the capacitors in this and see if it helps the circuitry work any better. We'll see how it does. There's one other capacitor there. The axle lead, I think I want to say. I'll get the diagram. I'll touch up some grounds. Someone else told me these are the 4000 CMOS series of chips. There's only about 6 of them in here. I may check the 5-volt levels and whatnot when we get this thing up and running, but I did not check this power supply for ripple, so let's just replace these capacitors. And I've tested them with the peak just for ESR, and value is good. Again, these read high, about 1200 microfarad, and these read about 900 or 1000. So yeah, we'll go with. I'm telling you, I don't know if any of you have seen these mid-70s boards. I hope I don't have to take any of these 16-pin chips out, because this thing, I'm telling you, every pad you touch it and the pads just fall off. And double-sided board to boot. We'll put the pads back on, but I've lost that one right there and that one right there, but I'll put them back on. I remember having to do this in production days. These pads just come right off. I am connected, but it's still not anchored to the board very well. We have these. Check our polarities. I checked and double checked. Positive up, positive down, positive down, positive down. You can see how they're marked on the board. Plus, and then plus on C38. Kind of hard to see, but it's right there. Plus on 41 and plus on 40. We'll put the C42 in right there next. This one here, just pushing it through the board, I've lifted the darn copper cladding. We'll have to fix that. Okay, he's done. You can even see half of the copper cladding is gone from the other terminal there, but there we go. Try it with the new capacitors installed. I dread having to undo any of this circuitry over here. This is a CD 4011, 4023, 4013, another 4011. I have a similar parts board over here with the Motorola. There's a 4013 right there. 45, don't know that one. A 4011 right here. So these two, I won't use these, but these chips are cheap enough, I think. But I would dread having to remove them from that board. I just button the board back in. I'm just going to pan around, just in case any of these wires ever break off. Blue one there, red one there, which unfortunately we did hit with the iron. Tight quarters there. Okay, 2 red ones there. Black over here. This is all stiff wire. Purple and brown on the speaker. Look at the switch. Blue, brown, white, green. And this way green. White and yellow is on the same terminal. Yellow, blue and black on the same terminal. The 6-way switch. I'll look here at this one. Red, blue. Looks like white. Okay. Alright. Power it up and put our test transistor back in the socket, and well, there's a transistor in the socket, so we can just try it out. Alright, speakers on, power off, turn power on, again nothing, power low, power high, it just adjusts. I don't know if it's an oscillator or what, but you're supposed to just move this. Nothing. you turn these dials, the meter should do something here. Push to test. Okay, are we even on here? No, we weren't even on there. Now we are on. No, nothing. I don't know why he has this marked C, B, and E. It's not supposed to matter which way you put a transistor in. Maybe there was a problem with it. Try high power, low power. It says one of these is the... I get nothing. The meter's working if I do push to test. But this is supposed to... This is supposed to be doing something again right now, but I don't see it happening. I have to dig further. Do get some meter action there, but we don't know what kind of transistor we have. Oh sure, there it goes. And it goes acting up again. Well, good news is it's no worse than it was. You can pull the transistor out. Makes no difference. This will stay that way until I turn it off. This thing's definitely got a logic problem. Well, I kind of killed it. Dirty switch? Who knows? I like to try the simple things first, but nope. That's this switch here, which I have sprayed. Of course, this isn't supposed to stay on. Take the transistor out. Shut it off. No transistor. Turn it on. Nothing. Okay, let's stick a transistor in it. Pretty bad when you have to fix the test equipment. Ugh. Get in there. See action on the meter. Still don't know the polarity here. I think there's something. This causes obviously something wrong. I wonder if it will test the beta of the transistor. It's like almost working, everything but the lead identification. I can't get it to do a thing here. Let me straighten these leads out. Okay, I have to play with the switch a few times and going through, but see, once that latches, it doesn't release. I wonder if this transistor is an NPN. Yeah, but it's supposed to just go with the switch. And once it's on, I can't shut that off. Right there. it's off. Try it again. No, just the push to test got it to go. No. No. Jiggle the switch, it'll go. I'll clean these switches again. I'll call it a night, and I'll spray this switch here and try again a little later on. Let it sit overnight. Okay, because this unit did in-circuit testing and out-of-circuit testing, and to eliminate the possibility of a bad socket here, I've gone ahead and just connected the leads to the transistor. It says put the switch in low. You don't do anything with this. I'm going to say low power here. And this switch is not supposed to do anything. This is what tells you what transistor type it is. And then you set this switch to go and test the beta. But we'll turn it on, and I can move it through these positions, and it just doesn't work. So I get no indication of whether it's PNP or NPN. If I slide this over there, the light comes on, NPN. And if I go back, it just latches. There's something blown in it. There's something wrong with this. It may have been tested in circuit and damaged. I don't know. But we'll play with this a little more, but I'm losing patience. But again, I do have the diagram, and I have to read it and read it and read it some more, and do some further testing. So again, I turn it on, it won't do anything. I think I just touched the leads here once and it started going berserky. But no, in the NPN position, it won't do anything. Flip it to PNP, the NPN light comes on immediately. And if I recycle it with it in PNP and go through the switches, again nothing happens. And if I move it to NPN, there you have it. I'll leave it at that for now. It's something in the logic is not correct. Okay, so just something to think about here. So if these are our transistor leads and this thing was used in circuit and it took a hit, everything basically goes to the 6-position switch and then over somewhere through here, but I'm following it over to these transistors here before the logic gate. Start looking around in this area here, trace it out a little more from the switch there. Those 3 lines going over, down. We're not using the push to test. I don't know. I get a bad transistor in here somewhere.